Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Call of Duty Cold War guide. Today, we will be showcasing 15 of the top Cold War Warzone tips and tricks to help you instantly improve at the game. Let's go ahead and get right into it. For tip number 1, we have a great strategy that can help you during those phases of the game that you don't have too much to do. You already have your desired loadout, you have a good amount of cash, and you're already in the zone. Well, if this describes your situation, then you could try to rotate to buy stations, as this is where a lot of teams will start to rotate to. And to add on to it, these areas are basically wide out in the open, so you should easily be able to get a pick. The reason why this is such a good tip is simply because more times than not, we will find a partial team with a lot of cash looking to bring back their fallen teammates. So not only do you get a few extra kills, but you will also get a fat stack of cash to go along with it. But I guess before you're able to perform that last tip, you have to survive the beginning of the game. This, in my opinion, can be one of the hardest parts if you don't know your exact plan. And that's why for this tip, I have learning drop spots and rotations for different points of interest. Simply knowing 3 or 4 drops paired with their rotations will help you have a general plan as to what you want to do in the game. Honestly, this will just come with time, but once you start landing at the same place over and over again, you'll learn where all the possible chest drops are, and this leads to getting better equipment faster than your other opponents. And that means free kills as long as RNG is on your side. But let's just say you're having an off day and it's taking ages to find super good loot. Well, this tip can help you win gunfights as long as you're able to think on the fly. For tip number 3, we have prioritizing who you kill if you're playing trios or squads. This tip will happen more than you think, and it's basically saying that you want to just pick off the player that is farthest away from the group. So if a team's rotating to the zone and you think that one player is just a bit too far away to get picked up in time, then you can call out to your team that you should all focus down that one player, and just like that, you should have a kill before the opposing team even knows what happened. I've just recently started doing this, and it has helped immensely. Moving on to our next tip, this one is all about movement, and that's learning how to slide cancel. Not only is this going to help you move around indoors faster, but it will also let you traverse Verdansk way faster. Now, I know that this might sound crazy, but if you perform 2 slide cancels, then your tac sprint will automatically regen, allowing you to run faster. I'll be releasing a guide out soon on how exactly you should be slide canceling, so stay on the lookout for that. And while we're on this topic, I will also be live right when this video releases, so be sure to come stop by and say what's up or ask any questions that you might have. Now with that out of the way, let's jump right into our 5th tip, which is thinking while you play. This is one of the best tips that you can utilize while grinding Warzone, because all battle royales are strategic at the end of the day. You constantly have to be thinking about your next move and how it can set you up for the rest of the game. So once you start actually thinking about what you should do rather than just running around carelessly, then you will start to perform way better in Cold War Warzone. And on top of all that, if you think about and analyze your mistakes, then you will learn what not to do, which can really help. Now, I know that last tip can be kind of hard to get used to, but this next tip is for everyone, and it's really simple to do. Our 6th tip in this video is make sure that all your weapons are max level. This is a great thing to do because you are able to unlock all the attachments to use whenever you need them. You never want to get into the situation where a really strong weapon becomes meta and you're sitting with it at level 1. Leveling up weapons can be kind of stressful in Warzone, so that's why I would recommend either hopping into a zombies game or just running some multiplayer. This will level up the weapon so quickly, and your possible problem that we mentioned earlier becomes pretty much non-existent. Now, earlier in the video, we touched on picking players off at buy stations, and I'm sure you're wondering what to do if you're in that situation where you want to revive your teammate for backup, but you feel like you might be putting yourself in a bad position to possibly get knocked out of the game. Well, a simple tip that I have is to smoke the buy station. This will make it much harder to see you, and players will only be able to get the pick on you if they have a thermal scope. But if they don't, then you should have a free safe shop at the buy station. That last tip was sure to keep you alive more in your matches, but an even better tip for staying alive is simply rotating early. We have all probably died while rotating away from the storm. There seems to always be that one team holding you that you can't get past. It is super frustrating, but it can all be avoided by simply rotating earlier than them. Right when you see that next zone, I would recommend booking it to a safe area in an attempt to get the best spot for holding players and getting free, easy kills while they're out in the open. Now, for our next tip, let's just say theoretically, you weren't good enough to win a fight and you were playing a game mode other than solos, and you have a self-revive in your hands. I know that there are a lot of parts to this theoretical situation, but I'm telling you, it happens a good bit. So our next tip is using that self-revive to get up to like 80 or 90% revived, and then having a teammate head over and do the finishing touches on the revive. This will allow you to get up way faster, and your teammate won't have to just stay standing there stationary, becoming a sitting duck. On top of all this, you also won't use your self-revive, so you can save it for later. This is a pretty common tip, but you still need to make sure that you use it the next time you're down and you have a teammate and a self-revive. Once again, I just want to emphasize that this does happen more often than I make it sound. Okay, so now let me give you another quick situation. Let's say that you're getting down to the end game and you don't really know where to rotate to because you think that players have already rotated. Well, the first advice that I can give you is to rotate earlier in the next situation you face like this. But let's just say that you couldn't because you were finishing up a gunfight. Well, if you are close to a buy station and you're playing squads or trios, you could pop 3 UAVs at the same time to see where everyone is on the map, along with what direction they're facing. This strat can be extremely overpowered in the later stages of the game, and I would definitely try this out if you haven't already. And I know that a few of you might be wondering how you can actually get to the end game because let's face it, you just aren't good enough at the game just yet. It's fine, we've all been there at some point, but my biggest advice to you would be utilizing hot drops to improve. This is where you drop into the first named location so that you get into as many gunfights as possible at the start of the game. No, you aren't trying to win, you're just trying to learn how to maneuver through back-to-back fights while trying to stay alive. Once you do this for a few hours or even a few matches, you should be able to drop into a safer location on the map and absolutely pop off. When playing Warzone, you need to learn to take each fight as an individual fight. Kill one player, heal up, and move on to the next. Then just repeat the process until you're the last one standing. Now, this next tip is probably the shortest on our list, and that's simply due to the fact that I have a dedicated video for it, and it's to find your perfect loadout. Click on the top right-hand corner of your screen right now to be taken to a video where I break down 10 best loadouts for Cold War Warzone Season 1. Okay, now our 13th tip for this video is to check your minimap whenever hunting down a most wanted player. The reason why I wanted to include this tip is because on the minimap, it will actually tell you if this player is above or below you. Just look underneath the minimap and you should be able to find an arrow. If this player has an up arrow below the red crown, then the player is at a higher elevation than you, and that means to keep your eyes peeled up in the sky. Our next tip involves the new game mode that actually just got released with Season 1. That game mode is Resurgence, and essentially it is a mini battle royale. 40 players will all drop onto Rebirth Island and they will fight for that number 1 spot. This is going to be a great game mode to utilize in order to get good at Warzone because you will be able to get every stage of a Warzone game in a much shorter amount of time. So the next time you don't know what to do and you're feeling kind of bored and burnt out of dying right off the bat in Warzone, try loading into Rebirth Island for a change of pace. Okay, so for our last tip in this video, as much as you all might like it, not like it, I had to go back to the cliche tip of don't give up. You've probably heard it 1,000 times, but it's true. You can't give up in a game like Warzone. Sure, sometimes you're going to really hate the game, but if you keep on working, then you will get so much better and hopefully have more fun in the future. When they say practice makes perfect, they aren't lying, so no matter what, I just want you guys to keep on grinding, and I promise you that you'll see an increase in skill in no time. That's my motivational speech at the end of the day. Well, I hope that this video helped you out, and if it did, then be sure to subscribe with notifications on, because on this channel, I upload daily Call of Duty Cold War videos every day at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm also daily streaming starting at 11. So if you want to watch me play Warzone live, or even just watch high-quality guides to help you improve at COD, then be sure to have those notifications on. Anyways, that's going to go ahead and wrap up things for today, but if you want to watch another Cold War video, then I highly recommend the video on the left side of your screen right now. I'll go ahead and see you all in that one.